How's it going, super friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take an up close and personal look at MAFEX's Eradicator action figure as depicted in The Return of Superman. So that's why I'm so glad to have this figure today. MAFEX is doing such a fantastic job with their portion of the DC license. Previously, they've already released John Henry Irons' Steel, and they've released Hank Henshaw Cyborg Superman. Not to mention the black regeneration suit Superman action figure and a regular Superman figure. Only that one's based off his appearance in Hush. But this is just so cool looking. I can't wait to get this box open. So the front of the packaging is the same for all the other MAFEX Superman figures. It's got that kind of gritty, gray sort of theme to it. We've got a Superman logo on the top of the box. We've got the Eradicator over here on the left. Another image of the Eradicator over here on the right. And on the back, we have some really fantastic artwork. We have various imagery of the action figure in various poses with different head sculpts. And over here down in the bottom left, we have the accessories and the extra head sculpts that come with the figure. Right, so now let's yank them out of the package and have a closer look at everything that comes on the inside. Just gonna cut the tape, slide it out of the box. Ooh, this is exciting. We've got the figure and the extra hands. Just gonna take them all out very carefully. Don't wreck the head. Oh, all the hands have fallen out. And we have the stand on the bottom. Okay, and now that it's all out of the package, let's take a closer look at everything, starting with the accessories and moving on to the figure. So this is what the energy blasts look like that you can attach to the Eradicator's hands. Let's see how close we can get to this bad boy and have it still focus. Yeah, that's not bad. And he also comes with a plethora of other hands, the first of which would be these open hands, which you'll probably see later on in the video. That's what you fit the blasts onto. They just fit directly onto these open hands like that. Except for, I'm guessing you would probably use these ones right here because they match. They certainly seem like those are the ones you're supposed to use. Yeah, that's probably better. So yeah, he comes with 2 pairs of open finger hands, a set of splayed finger hands, a set of getcha hands, and a relaxed set of hands as well. Here is the alternate head that he comes with. This is not the one that came on the body, but this is his more expressive, teethy, angry face, while the initial head sculpt is just straight-faced, stern, and grim. Now, the figure itself is almost a naked body buck. You could almost use this to make just basic figures that don't need any sculpting detail. However, I do like the fact that with this figure, you can see they've actually sculpted these lines. They're not just painted, but there's actually a line that's been sculpted into the plastic for the blue and the black to have their differentiation there. The figure does have nice muscle tone, and the contrast of this blue, which was so good. I really like this blue with the black that they have chose for this figure. Looks really nice as well. I like that a lot. As we know, this figure's got a cloth goods cape, and there's a lot of cloth goods cape here. I'm just going to stretch out the bottom. Oh goodness, that's a lot. Like, that goes way out there. It's kind of a nice fabric they've chosen to make the cape out of, if not just a tad see-through. But as you can see, there's a lot of cape here, and it's wired not only down the sides, but also all the way around the bottom as well. And underneath here, you have these strange, wingy shoulder pad doohickeys, and they are to hold the cape over the Eradicator's shoulders so that it actually, you know, puffs up like I think that's the point right here. So it sticks up, puffs up like it does in the comic books. Will this be a tad unsightly? If you can see it while you're posing, definitely. And I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to take these out or if I'm going to leave them in. I do like the way that they have tucked the cape in underneath his S shield on his chest. I think they did a fine job with that. That looks really neat. And the S insignia looks pretty cool as well. They've done a good job with this great big red House of L shield. It is different than the one on the back of the cape here. The one on the back of the cape should be more yellow, and it's not. And this is actually the same one that they used for the Hush Superman action figure, except for the fact that the S on the back of the Hush Superman cape is actually a little bit more yellow than the one on the back of the Eradicator. Looking up close here at the Eradicator's head sculpt, I like what they've done with it, and they've done a fantastic job with his yellow visor. And you've got different paint scheme on the sides, so it's actually yellow where it attaches to his ears, and then it's clear over his face. The Superman style spit curl looks fantastic, and so does the overall paint job for this. And then we come to the secondary head sculpt for the Eradicator, and the hair is more wind-blown, the spit curl is a little bit more out of control. You still have that really cool looking clear visor, but you have much more expressive eyes and a certainly much more expressive mouth. As for comparisons, my first will be between the MAFEX and the previously released Mattel DC Universe Classics Eradicator figure. I don't have the original head sculpt that came on it. I actually replaced it with the one from DC Direct. Let's just move him to the middle here and bring in the Hush Superman and the previously released Return of Superman recovery suit version of the Man of Steel. Let's just fix Superman here a little bit. He's kind of a little wonky and not facing the right direction. There we go. That should be a little better. I really appreciate how nice and bright and vibrant the red and yellow is on the Eradicator, and really wish that the same kind of attention had been paid to the color palette of the Hush Superman. And then on this side, why don't we pop Hank Henshaw, the cyborg Superman, in there, and then a custom version of the Hush version of Superman to depict him with his long-haired mullet. And let's move the Eradicator back just a little bit so that his head aligns with the other characters, just for a little bit better scale. All we're waiting for now is for Superboy to be released. I really can't wait for Kal-E to start shipping. Okay, and one last thing to do, and that would be to check out the Eradicator's articulation. So we can see, just looking at him, what kind of articulation points that he has, right? He's got waist and torso articulation, and both of those go 360, and he really articulates well from in the body, like in every direction. He articulates really, really well. In his arms, he's got the rounded hinges that enable him to do a fairly good T-pose up like that. And looking up close, you can see he's actually got that socket on the inside of his armpit there, in much the same way that McFarlane Toys does, only this figure has a lot more articulation, a lot more movement inside of the shoulder. He's also got a bicep swivel and double jointed elbows. Unfortunately, that's all they can crunch up. It's definitely better than a simple 90 degrees. It would be a little cooler if it could crunch up just a little bit more. When you look up close, you can see there is a rounded hinge in his wrist there that enables full 360 swivel. If I move his cape out of the way, you can see he's got an articulation point in the bottom of his neck, and of course he has one in the top of his neck. So that actually gives a lot of articulation down and up. Let's get it right back for a flight pose. That's pretty cool. And then of course all over the place, round and round. So that is really, really handy. And then down here, his legs are attached by way of two ball hinges, two ball joints, and they're drop hinges, I believe, as they usually are. Yeah, they're a bit tight, but those are actually drop hinges, so they'll move out of the way of his rubber underpants there, that portion of his body. You have a pretty good range of motion with these as well. The knees, well, they're double jointed, and they double joint up quite nicely. I'm satisfied with that. You can see he's got the toe articulation there, and that's pushed at full. You've got is this a rounded hinge? Yeah, it's a rounded hinge in the ankle with a pivot. It goes up that, down that, and all around. Let's give it a good 360 turn. And that's that. He is a pretty finely articulated action figure. And oh my God. Take two. And that's what he's got for articulation. That's more than enough for someone like me, and I think that it will be plenty for most of you collectors out there. Anyway, what do I think about this Eradicator action figure? Do I think that it's good, or do I think that it is in fact garbage? Well, I've been lying to you this whole time. I think it's trash, and I hate it, and I'm going to throw it in the garbage and cover it in lighter fluid and set it on fire. No, I'm kidding. I love it. I think that it's awesome. And I'm so glad that I ordered it, and I'm so happy that I can add it to my MAFEX Superman collection. Mine came in just a few days ago from HobbyLink Japan, and that is typically where I receive my DC Comics MAFEX imports from. But you can also have ordered it at Ami, which is another Japan-based action figure and hobby specialist nerd retailer. Or heck, you could even pre-order the thing on Big Bad Toy Store. You're just going to be waiting longer for it to come in, that's all. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. It means a lot to me that you spent your time with me today, and I will see you with the next one. Have a DC day, everybody.